Stop the cap.
Look, I'm gonna redo this video because I had a conversation with Cap and he made me realize something that I need to touch on. You know, when it comes to a few of the people that it's not even a few of the people that I won't say I'm arguing with, but it's just like I say, like the guy that wrote that comment talking about these products made in China that I was suggesting on AliExpress. Right? I went to the range the other day again because I got the replacement firing pin for the PSA dagger, because it was a PSA dagger that broke, and I got a video coming talking about that PSA dagger and you know, it breaking, the firing pin breaking. And apparently just on Glocks in general, the way that the firing pin is designed, it's not uncommon for that firing pin to break. But anyway, what I noticed is guys coming to the range with rifles with no sighting system whatsoever. None. Right? And we talk about getting black people into the 2A game, you know, not the Ray Rays and Pookies, but you know, the upstanding black folks that need to defend themselves from Ray Ray and Pookie and, you know, white supremacist, white Christian nationalist, and all those people that love to talk crazy about black people and feel emboldened because, you know, that's just the era in the times, right? So my thing is I don't want to see black people out there looking like some of the folks were looking like when it came to Grandmaster Jay's organization, you know, when you have to defend yourself, right? I don't want to see you out there with 22 caliber rifles, not, you know, 223 and 5.56, but literally 22 long rifle. I don't want to see you out there with that garbage. I don't want to see you out there with the cheapest of the cheap, you know, red dot sights and stuff that you get off of Amazon, which ultimately comes from China anyway, right? I want to see you out there with something that's fairly decent. I gave the whole list of red dot sights for rifles and even handguns that are made in China. SIG is made in China. All the SIG Romeos are made in China. Freaking Hollow Sun is made in China. I mean, that's a Chinese brand. Vortex is made in China, right? Primary Arms is made in China. I mean, you just go through the list, okay? And the Chinese are scrupulous and they don't care about copyright and stuff like that. And you have factories that make either damn good copies without the name branding, which essentially is like probably 75% of what you're paying for when you buy these damn things with the name brand on the side. Or they're literally, you know, ones coming out of the same factory, but they just don't brand them, and then they slap them up and throw them on AliExpress. Now, what it'll say is it'll say airsoft, right? The plate carriers will say airsoft. The red dots will say airsoft. A lot of that is done just to get past the importation laws, the deportation and importation laws, right? Because there's people who do play airsoft and they want as real to the equipment as can be possible. But there's much of the equipment, if not the vast majority of it, that can be used on real firearms. And I discovered that because, you know, just like 704 Tactical, who has another YouTube channel, he does the water bottle test. You can go over there and just type in 704 Tactical water bottle test. He'll buy, you know, $30 red dots off of, you know, Amazon, which again, most of that is just FBA from Alibaba. And, you know, he'll do a little torture test. Throw the rifle on the ground, throw it in the dirt, pick it up, and hit a steel target, you know, from, you know, several, you know, whatever, 30, 40 yards away, right? And some of them failed the water bottle test, other ones didn't. And the ones that didn't, right? As soon as he posts the video, the price would go up. He would buy the red dot sight for like $20, $30, and then you go to the website after he posts his video and it jumps to $50. You see, because I actually have a couple of sites. I bought 3 of them because the one that I bought, you know, for shits and giggles, I bought it for $20, I think $25. And now I go back to the site and they want like $44 for the same thing. And technically speaking, it's not exactly the same thing because it's a different manufacturer, but you know, overall it's the same. They simplified one component on it because it was basically a clone of a Aimpoint Comp M4, and the Comp M4 has, you know, a tension lock where you can't over torque it. And what they did is they eliminated that, so now you can over torque it, but you just don't do it. Just don't over torque it. But before they had this, you know, the old Comp M4, the original one, has a thing on it where, you know, you can't over torque it, and those are the ones that I bought. And what I found out is it had very little parallax. I almost want to say zero. Parallax is when you move your head around and whether the optic stays on target or not, right? If you move your head around and it's swimming around and it's floating around, then chances are it's not going to be accurate, because when you position your head in a different spot, unless you position your head in the same spot every time, your shot is going to be off. So this thing has no, parallax that I can notice. Even with the laser pointer that I had, you know, the laser scope, we call it laser sight scope, or, you know, so to, you know, where you put it at the end of the barrel to basically line up your red dot, and with the bore of the barrel, and you know, everything was perfect. Took it to the range, accurate, loved it, all that stuff. So I went and I bought 3 more, right? And a lot of people, you know, sleep on this stuff. But the thing is like I said, the guys that go to the range, you know, the guy came to the range with no sighting system on his rifle. Like, how are you aiming at your target? Like, literally just smooth, you know, rail across the top. No iron sights. And then I went over to Magpul and I looked at what the cost of the iron sights were. They want like $90, $90 to $100 for Magpul iron sights. Go to their website, you'll see it. $90. And see, that's what kind of pisses me off about a lot of these gun enthusiasts that'll sit there and act like, oh, you got to have the tier 1 operator, Navy SEAL, and coming out of Afghanistan, you know, type of gear, you know, buy once, cry once. They have this sort of mentality. I'm like, yo, my man just spent $600 on a rifle, and that's a cheap AR-15. I mean, quiet as it's kept now, I mean, Radical Arms, or even Combat Armory, you know, they got ARs for like $399. And there's nothing wrong with them. You know, they're just not a DDM4 or something crazy that costs, $1,500 to $3,000. You don't need $1,500 to $3,000 rifle, you know, to shoot somebody, you know, at 40 yards, right? And the reason I say 40 yards is, again, going back to the gun enthusiasts, you know, they come up with these ridiculous scenarios. I'm like, look, most people will never use a rifle to defend themselves. And if they do, if it's in their house, you're talking maybe 22 feet at most, you know, from one end to the other. Most people don't have hallways that long. Secondly, let's say you're outside. Good luck justifying, as I always like to say, good luck justifying shooting somebody at beyond 40 yards. You know, unless they're armed with, you know, as well, you're just going to have a hard time justifying shooting somebody at 40 yards with a rifle. So what type of accuracy are we really talking? We're talking basic combat accuracy. Could you shoot a target without iron sights with an AR-15, no sighting system at all, from, you know, at 40 yards? Just literally line up the rail and approximate. Could you do that? Yeah, sure you could. Okay, but I'm saying you don't have to break the bank to get in the self-defense game. Ammo is already expensive enough. Like 9mm ammo right now is like, if I go to sgammo.com, it's like 13.95 a box. I remember when ammo was I think it was like $9.50 a box. Just under $10. You could get a box of 1,000 rounds of 9mm for 180, 190 bucks. It's right around $200. Get you 1,000 rounds. The prices have been coming down a little bit, but the war in Ukraine is kind of keeping things inflated a little bit. I think right now it's like you can get 1,000 rounds for maybe $250, like an extra $50, something like that. But I'm just saying, many of the stuff, the links, that I put from Amazon, I just basically just made an account for Alibaba or AliExpress affiliate. And the stuff that I'm suggesting is stuff that most of it is stuff I've already purchased. I've already bought it. And the commissions on it, it's like $1.78. Right? So like I could just put the links raw, or I could just make an affiliate account and put the links. And I don't really get much from putting the links. Like I would have to push an insane amount of volume in order to get, that type of commission. To be balling out of control or something like that. So like all the guy in particular that came with the shilling and all that other stuff, again, I'm trying to put people on to things that they need. Like there's all type of ancillary stuff, like flashlights on weapons, right? I got 3 of those Chinese cloned Surefire lights that were $36 on all of my rifles, right? Because you should have redundancies. I should have things not just on one rifle. Like, okay, I have a go-to rifle, that's my one rifle, but I want a light on each rifle, right? But if I go to Surefire and I buy a Surefire light, with the toggle switch, that's going to cost me, those lights are like $400, $500. How much is it? I think they start at like $250. Let's go to Surefire. Let's see what Surefire has to say. Surefire light. Okay, Surefire. I'm talking about the M300s and the M600s. M300 you would put on like a CZ Scorpion. M600 you would put. Look at this shit. So the X300 clone, which is a pistol light, that one on Amazon is being sold for $349. Who's going to buy a pistol light for $349? This is why Olight, came on the scene. Olight is a Chinese manufactured weapon light, which comes at a lower price point than Surefire. Here's another Surefire. Surefire E2D has 1,000 lumens. It's $230 versus me buying an M300 clone off of AliExpress for $36. Works just fine. Haven't had it break. Gone to the range. I'm not saying I baby my stuff, but I take care of my stuff, right? And again, I'm not running through Iraq. I'm not running through Afghanistan, the poppy fields of Afghanistan. Okay, I'm defending my home. You know what I mean? With plaster walls, all around me. That's what I'm defending, right? All I need is a plate carrier. Let's just say I had time to put it on. A plate carrier that I get from, AR 500. You can get plates for like, what are the plates now? The plates are probably $100, $125, something like that. Get you a plate, go to AliExpress, get a plate carrier, throw the plate carrier in there, get some Molly for to hold the magazines. Probably have 3 to 6 magazines. I like the 6 ones. The 3 ones are little. I like the 3 ones. The 6 ones are a little bit bulky and big, but whatever. I'm saying, look, if you go through the mag that's in the gun and you go through 3 chest plate mags, you got bigger problems. Like, you got bigger problems if you got to go. Hell, if you go through one 30-round mag on an AR-15, you got bigger problems, my guy. So I'm just saying, I don't want to see brothers out there, with this stuff. Like, even, I remember the picture of the three guys. It was like three black men. It was in Virginia. Hold on. Three armed black men, Virginia protest. The one brother, he had a 308 rifle. I wanted a 308 rifle so damn bad. Where these brothers at? Let's see if I can find them. There's the one brother. Okay, where was the picture of the three brothers, three black guys? Hold on, I know I can find them. I know it's in here because they had. So there they go. So the one guy, I don't like those open emitter red dot sights, like those, like, I forget what they're called. I don't know if they're NC Star or Sight Mark. I think that's Sight Mark. I don't like those on an AR-15. I think you should close those. The other dude, I think he's got a hollow sun, and then he's got a magnifier, like a kind of like a G33, magnifier. I don't know if that's a G33, but I'm just talking about the type and the style. You know what I mean? But these brothers were standing out there. One guy, obviously he's got a shorter barrel, but he's got like the Surefire. I'm telling you, the Surefire clones work. Y'all can say what you want, they work. I know, because I use them, and I take them to the range, and I'm waiting for them to break. I want them to break. You know what I mean? But I'll be the first one to tell you, I get off on getting deals like that. Like, I don't know why people go out here and they think that, everything is made with the elixir of life. And, no, man, I can only buy a barrel from this manufacturer because, you see, when they forge the barrel, they forge it with kryptonite from the planet Krypton. And when the bullet moves down the bore, it picks up the elements of the kryptonite. So, like, you can shoot Superman with the motherfucker. Like, no. Like, nigga, stop. You're paying for the name brand. That's what you're paying for. Like understand that. That's where the majority of your money is going. And here's the other thing, because I get people that come with this. Look, if you want to, argue the whole, my goal is to get you the equipment that you need, and you can sort out whether it's good or bad later, however you want. I'm talking to the guys that are trying to get in the game. And if you go in there and you're like, okay, you spent $600 on a rifle, and now you got to spend another half of that rifle to get a lighting system just to put a flashlight on that hoe. Like, no, you're going to scare them off, and they're not going to be a part of the 2A community. This is the whole problem with even some of the 2A, community members, that they always want to, show off these expensive guns and stuff. Right? Or even some of these companies, I'll give the gun collective some credit, because he calls them out on it. Like, they'll come out with some simple gimmicky device, and then they'll say, oh, yeah, we're going to charge, some obscene, amount for this item. Like, it's like, no, ain't nobody paying that for that. Same thing with a lot of these, new pistols that come out. There are tons of polymer frame guns out there, that do just fine. Doesn't have to be a Glock, doesn't have to be a SIG. You got all the Turkish manufactured guns, Sarzomaz, T-Sas, Kanik, what's the other one? And SDS is T-Sas. What's the other one? Gersan, right? You have all these manufacturers that are basically, they, reverse engineer the products. And to me, they're more solid than some of the American manufacturers. That's just how I feel about it, because, once you get into firearms and you look at the firearms, you look at the metallurgy, you look at the thickness of certain parts, and you start to realize, like, hey, this is actually a better firearm. It's just that, the exchange rate between, let's say, America and Turkey is as such to where you can get more bang for your buck. And I've seen comments from some of the Turkish people in the comment section that are like, yo, that shit is expensive here. But, due to the exchange rate, Turkey versus America, we can get those firearms for $275, $300, and again, Turkey's a part of NATO. Turkey's gun industry is for NATO. It's for the military. But so like people, they have these sort of like brand myopic view on things, and they have these beliefs about, everything is made out of Chinesium. If it's coming from China, it's just simply not true. Your Apple Watch is made in China. Your Apple computer is made in China. Your earbud pros are made in China. You know what I'm saying? Like, or iPod earbud pros, whatever the heck they're called, made in China. Damn near everything is made in Shenzhen, China. I'm just trying to get you in the game. And then the other thing is like, okay, so what? You bought, we're not supporting American businesses, and you're always talking about jobs and jobs going overseas. Yeah, true. So go and go buy a $50,000, Lincoln Continental, and then go and buy something from China. Spend less than $100 buying something from China. Like, are you not supporting the American? You done spent $50,000 on an American vehicle made here in America, and then you spend $100 on China, and we're actually having an argument or a debate about, supporting American manufacturing. Like, are you kidding me? Like the math ain't mathing. And again, if you got that type of money, I'm just saying that, since I threw up the Lincoln, if you got that type of money, okay, then go and pay, an arm and a leg, for the accessories, not even the firearm, the accessories. Because let's face it, we're not buying the firearm from China, right? We're not buying that from China. We're buying the accessories, the pistol grips, the lights, the lasers, if you want to get into the lasers, right? And quiet as is kept, the Chinese lasers, there's restrictions on U.S. lasers where they can't be that powerful. China takes off the restriction. Those, you've seen them people with the lasers, and they're aiming them at the planes, and then the FBI, comes pulling up. Yeah, they're getting those lasers from AliExpress and Alibaba. Yeah, those powerful ass lasers that can blind a pilot and take down a plane. You know what I mean? So again, like people's notion of, you're getting some cheap, item. I'm like, look, I'll be the first one to tell you, I got burned when I first went on AliExpress and Alibaba. I did, and some of that had to do with, me not looking at the reviews, not looking at how many were sold. Now, that's not the case. Plus, I also test the manufacturer to see if how long does it take them to reply to my emails or my messages, because it's got an internal messaging, system in there. Like I said, I'm telling you, I'm pointing you to the stuff that I know that works. Like even somebody asked me about knives, and they were like, what do you think about, a knife? And I'm like, look, any sharp object can be used for self-defense. That's fine. But I'm saying, when it comes to the knives, like how bad can you fuck up a knife? Like seriously speaking, most of the knives that y'all get, the Magtex and all those are made in China. Like damn near everything that you got is made in China. What's this knife I got in my pocket? This knife I got in my pocket. I bet you it says, when I open it up, it's going to say, designed in the USA, but produced in China. Yep. Hold on. MT343 440 stainless, USA design, handcrafted in China. This is a random $5 knife that I got from this I got it from like a flea market type of place that sells like martial arts equipment. So like you're not gonna get around like this stuff. Like people running around you just because you go to Target and you think you buy something at Target doesn't mean it's not manufactured in China. You go to Target and you buy an ironing board. I put money on it. It's manufactured in China. The iron and the ironing board manufactured in China. Your trash can is probably manufactured in China. And I'm trying to think like what else. You know, I think they got warehouses here in the States, because a lot of times when I order stuff, if I get it pretty early, it'll say like the package I get it in, it'll say like Jamaica Queens, or like, you know, where else in New York does it come from? It just comes from like New York or something like that. And I'm like, isn't it supposed to be coming from China? I get this package from New York. You know, so I don't know. They probably got a whole logistics network and all that stuff, you know, the trade and all that. And, you know, I mean, so if you get a package early, you know, and you live on the East Coast, you know, probably because they got a warehouse here, and that's why you don't have to wait so long, which is good, because, you know, you don't have to wait. But, you know, I just want people to understand, you know, to the men that I'm talking to primarily, and doesn't exclude women, but I'm just saying, you know, you guys, you got to make up your mind, you know, because there is a law of diminishing returns. If you want to get all, you know, America first, and, you know, manufacturing and all that other stuff, look, I totally get you. I can argue both sides. But when it comes to the immediacy, like, you could, like, my whole thing is I'm trying to get the weapon system, a proper weapon system in your hand. You know, everything else that you want to buy, that's US based and manufactured, do that. But when we're talking about firearms, and I'm telling you, it's going to cost you, you know, on average $400 to get into a pistol. It's going to cost you about $500 to $600 to get into a rifle, right? Then you got to add in the cost of ammunition. Then if you want to get into a plate carrier, that's another $120, $125 from Spartan Armor or AR 500. Then you got to get the plate carrier. Plate carrier, like, you know, the freaking sky is the limit. The plate carrier, the prices vary. You can go with the airsoft stuff. You can go with the other stuff. But I mean, it's all made and sewn together in China. Okay? So like, a lot of you all, like, you're not understanding that your brands, your favorite brands, are producing their goods in China. You're still supporting China. You know, if you want to make that sort of argument. But anyway, the plate carriers, you know, I mean, you could go from a $30 plate carrier, you can go all the way up to, you know, a $90 plate carrier. I mean, like, they got the, what is it, the Versitas or something like that, like the bunch of plate carriers that are right around $100 that are really good, you know, and you know, even with the Chinese products, you know, it's still, you know, you kind of get what you pay for. Like, there's a price range of what you want to get. But, you know, if you buy something off of Amazon, you're still getting it from China. All that is FBA. All that is people who ordered in bulk from China, put it on the Amazon store, added another 10, 15 bucks to the product, and are sitting there collecting, making bank. Okay? You're not getting away from the reality that China is the world's factory. You're not getting away from that reality. And if you want to, which most of you can't, if you want to, you know, break the bank and go out here and, no, I want a real surefire light, then you go do that. You go do that. Meanwhile, the person that's listening to me and buying the stuff that I tell them to buy, and the stuff that I'm saying works, you know, while you go out there and you spend $300 on a light, they're spending $36 on a light, and then taking the rest of that money and buying ammunition. You know, and what else do I want to say? There was something else I wanted to say about you know, just, oh, and even when it comes to, like, you know, even returning some of these items, like, let's say it doesn't work. Let's say you get a lemon, return the shit. You return the shit. Ask AliExpress for a refund. Give them a bad review. You know? But I'm saying the vendors don't want that type of smoke. And aside from the fact, that's why I go to the vendors that already have, you know, whatever, 200 sales and 5 stars, 4.8 stars. You're almost never going to see 5 stars. 4.8 is usually what you see, because there's always that one person that's mad because they didn't get their package, and they're going to blame it on the vendor. I didn't get my package, and like the freaking, you know, the mailman lost it or some shit like that. You know, but you know, to some of you guys that are the firearms purist, you know, that you have to remember when they had these for a while they were selling these what do you call it, Radon Raptor clones. And I don't even think the Radeon Raptor, I think it's Radeon Raptor, which is basically an ambidextrous charging handle for the AR-15. You know, they wanted $90 for a charging handle for the Radeon Raptor. Go look it up. Google it. Or I could go over there and there's plenty of sites that have, you know, $15 charging handles that are ambidextrous that don't break the bank. Man, I bought a bunch of those things, the charging handles. You know, because it's a charging handle. It's a piece of aluminum, you know, two pieces of aluminum put together with pins in the middle and a spring, you know, to pull the latch back. That's it. There's certain products that the price is not warranted. You should not be paying $90 for a charging handle. I'm sorry, you shouldn't. You know, same with, you know, there's certain things. Look, bolt carrier groups, I'm not buying a bolt carrier group from China. That's not going to happen. But, you know, hand guardrails, I'll buy one from China. Charging handle, I'll buy one from China. Pistol grip, I'll buy one from China. You know what I mean? Even when it comes to the stocks, you know what I mean? I bought a stock from Davidson's Defense, and the stock was basically a B5 stock, and the actual B5 stock I know is expensive, and this B5 stock was, what was it? $17. I know that Davidson's Defense is buying it from China and then reselling it. So they probably got it for less. They probably bought a whole bunch of them and sold it for less. And it's a damn good clone. It's not a real B5 stock. Same thing with the SB Tactical SBA3 braces. I bought a bunch of those, you know, because I got some other rifles. I bought a bunch of those, right, for $20, $25. It's a stock. It's a piece of plastic. Versus buying an actual SBA 3 tactical brace, you know, the ones that friggin' the ATF and the Supreme Court are going back and forth about. You know, the real ones are like $130. And all it is a piece of plastic, right, that slides back and forth and you adjust it, that you can shoulder it with. That's all it is. And the only reason the ATF and the Supreme Court are going back and forth about it is because a lot of people figured out that they could have essentially a short barrel rifle and have something to brace, you know, their shoulder against, as opposed to it just being the buffer tube, which allowed them to circumvent, you know, paying the $200 ATF tax for the damn SBR. You know, the damn what is that title? What is that freaking Title 1 or Title 4, I forget which one, Title 3, whatever one that is, you know, when you go to file for an SBR, just so that you can have a shorter barrel rifle, because it's easier to wield a shorter barrel rifle, especially indoors, than a full 16-inch or greater rifle. And especially it's wonderful for a suppressor, because if you put the suppressor on, you get back that 16 inches. So you want a shorter barrel rifle. Not that we can have, you know, suppressors, you know, where I'm at, but I'm just saying, you know, so, you know, you gotta weigh shit out. You know, red dots, again, if it, you know, buy the shit if it hold, you know, I mean, I'm only suggesting the ones that I know hold zero, you know what I mean, or the ones that have positive reviews. But I'm saying the one that I got, I know that sucker holds zero. Takes AA batteries, Comp M4. That's the reason why I like the Comp M4 design. I like anything that takes AA batteries. I don't like the ones that take the watch batteries. You know, or at least take, you know, like the CR 1, 2, 3 batteries or something like that. But I don't like the ones that take the, you know, the what are those batteries called? The damn, you know, what is that? 1632 battery. What are the size of those batteries? I forget what the damn batteries are, but you know, the damn watch batteries, you know, with all the numbers and whatnot. You know, those are cool. They work, right? You know, but how, if shit really hit the fan, it would be way easier for me to find a AA battery or even a AAA battery than it is for me to find one of those watch batteries, one of those flat batteries. You know, so, you know, if shit really hit the fan, you know, and I'm on some the domestics type shit or on some I Am Legend type shit, I'm pretty sure I can go from house to house and find me a AA battery in somebody's remote for their TV versus running around looking for a watch battery. You know, so I mean, these are the things that I think about. But you look, that whole thing with the Grandmaster J and all that was embarrassing. Some of the stuff that I saw people having, having a front rear sight, no back sight, or not having any sighting system at all. You know, irons is just not the way to go this day and age. You know, it's just not the way to go. You know, I don't even think they train with irons in the military anymore. They just go with the red dot and all that stuff, you know, and the ACOGs and all that, because that's what they'll be using. I mean, don't get it wrong. You know, knowing your fundamentals on iron sights is great. It's just, you know, the technology has moved forward. You know, it's the same with the, you know, like I see people, you know, with the revolvers. Ooh, revolvers. I don't even know why they make revolvers anymore. You know, it's a novelty to me. 1911s are a novelty to me. Why would I rock a gun that only holds 8 rounds when I can rock a gun that holds more rounds and is not equally as effective? You know what I mean? Like the idea that, you know, 45 ACP is the way to go. It's heavy. It's only 8 rounds. I mean, look, I like 1911s, but I'm just saying, for a defensive option, there's better options. Same with a revolver. I like revolvers. You know, I want a Chiappa Rhino, but, you know, hey, you know, what's the justification? Am I ever going to defend myself with a Chiappa Rhino? Most likely not. 6 shots and then you're assed out. No, thank you. Meanwhile, you know, you can have, for those that are not in, you know, communist states, you know, you can have a typical 15 rounds, you know, Hellcat Pro or 15 round Glock or whatever gun you choose, and then have a spare mag with another 15. So that's 30 shots right there. Versus a 1911, you have two magazines for a 1911, one spare magazine. You know, you're only looking at 16 shots, and that's with an 8-round magazine. If you got a 7-round magazine, you only got 14 shots. You see what I'm saying? Without counting the one in the chamber, you know, or the +1, which a lot of people don't do. So, you know, I'm just trying to give you guys options. If you don't want to take the option, that's fine. I'm just trying to give you options on a price point, because every time I post a video about black people, self-defense, fuck around and find out, situations where people should be defending themselves. Like, I mean, literally, I could just like make a whole channel of just like active self-protection, just reviewing, you know, these videos where people get a call. So I posted that video, the link where the guy was screaming for his wife, you know, in front of his house, and they were trying to rob him, trying to get his car keys. You know what I'm saying? I bet you he wish he had his firearm on him that night. You know, they were like, you know, anywhere from 4 to 6 assailants. You know, I mean, these are the times that we're living in. But I'm just trying to give you options so that you can, you know, make decisions, especially some of you newer guys, without breaking the bank. I've been there. I know how that shit is. You know, the 2A, the Second Amendment, you know, situation it's not a cheap situation. It's not cheap, to, you know, bottom line. You know? And that's why you see what you saw with that, you know, Instructor Mike running up on that security guard that had, you know, his gun in a Black Hawk holster. You know, SD9 VE, which is a cheap gun, and then he had it in a cheap holster, external holster, which was a Black Hawk holster, which all you got to do is just push a little button on the outside and pull the gun out, and voila, it's in your hands, as he demonstrated to the guy, you know, who didn't want to hear him when he was saying, you know, let me get you a level 3 Safariland holster. Right? Like all of a sudden, like, cats want to pretend like, oh, they're balling out of control and that they can afford a $350 X300 for a flashlight. You know, there are plenty of lights, lasers, and everything else that you can find that do not break the bank. There are plenty of lights that are $35, pistol lights that will serve you perfectly well. I've been doing it since before I came online. I mean, but I don't know. I get this weird pushback from people, and I know that most people ain't on that. Most of my followers are not on that, but I get this weird pushback from like a handful of people, you know, that want to tell me about their, you know, brand myopia. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, okay, like, whatever. You know, their brand myopic views. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to help people save money, man. Anyway, get people in the game, help them save money. You know, because, you know, that's the community. That's what we're dealing with. It's not like I'm up here saying, oh, go buy you some night vision goggles for $10,000. Go look at how much night vision costs. A proper pair of night vision goggles. Yeah, that's when you get into some real crazy, wild, big boy shit. But, you know, it just, the whole idea, oh, you're going to John Wick your way through no, that's not what I'm saying. Talking about basic self-defense. Have the proper things that you need. Have a flashlight on you. Like, even me, with my little man purse. What do I got in my little man purse? I have that, what do you call that? That saffron tactical light. I got a bunch of magazines, extra spare magazines for my CCW. I got a tourniquet. I got another flashlight. I got a knife, assisted spring open knife. And then I got, you know, the typical shit, wallet, a lighter, and my other cell phone. That's what I have. Right? Because it was like I was talking to somebody. They were always like, man, why you always got a light on you? You know, because what's funny is this is the person that's always asking me, hey, man, you got a light? Not a lighter, a light. And I'm like, you do realize that planet Earth is dark 50% of the time, right? And I'm like, you do realize that most of the time when shit goes down, it's when there's low light levels, meaning dusk and, you know, until, you know, it's dark. I mean, we just had a woman in Philadelphia, a corrections officer in Philadelphia. She went to the gas station at 10:30 at night and you know, got ran up on by Pookie. 22-year-old Pookie. She's 35 years old. Guy came up behind her, you know, tried to take, you know, he was trying to take her car. She had a nice car, BMW, you know, gripped her up, and, you know, they both pulled out. And she shot him in the back and in the leg, and he shot her in the leg. So, you know, it was, you know, that had to be one of them crazy, you know, Inglorious Bastards type of scenes where they both pull out and just pow, 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 pow. You know what I mean? It's like, which is just crazy. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, 22-year-old tried her. You know what I mean? He tried it. He fucked around and found out. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, she got hit twice and he got hit twice. But I think he got worse injuries because he got shot in the back. She got shot in the legs. Although, yeah, if you hit the femoral artery, not good, which is why, you know, I carry the tourniquet that I got off of, you know, AliExpress. There was a little bit where there was some weird, funny shit going on with the tourniquets. I don't know. Somebody posted a video of a tourniquet that was like rotted. It was like rotted and then like when they turned the what do you call that shit? I don't know if it's called the ballast stall, the ballast. I think this was called the ballast. The plastic thing that you turn. I forget what it's called. I forget the exact term. I want to say it's called a ballast. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, it like ripped. I don't know. I saw a video of that. Somebody saying that, but go through different brands. I mean, they're cheap. You know what I mean? I got what you call it on every one of my rifles. I have a tourniquet. I got the Ranger bands. I went off of Amazon. I was looking for the Ranger bands. Ranger bands are like big, thick, black rubber bands, and I use that to hold my sling, and I use that for the. Maybe I'll show y'all a picture of it. But I'm saying, yeah, I use that for my sling, and I use that to hold the tourniquet. And I always keep a tourniquet, on me if I can. People are like, oh, what are you preparing for war? What are you preparing for war? I'm not the one talking about war. These white folks are. I mean, look at the comment sections. I mean, people are writing articles. I just read an article, earlier today. What was the article? Let me save this picture of these brothers. I love this picture, man. I really do. Damn, where's that article at? Did I send it? I don't know if I sent it to Cap or not. I don't think I did. Damn, what is that article at? Hold on a second. Where's it at? I think I saw it on Newsbreak. Guy wrote this long article about his oh, here it is. I was reading the comment section. Nick Licata, and he wrote an article that's written The Coming Civil War. And it's pretty, it's a fairly long article, but, he talks about Republican MAGA movement folks have been predicting another civil war. The federal government's deep state is trampling upon their freedoms and those of the former President Donald Trump. 2 days after the election day in 2020, Stuart Rhodes, founder of the Oath Keepers armed extremist group, told his high-ranking members, "We aren't getting through with this without a civil war." Twitter posts mentioning civil war soared nearly 3,000%, denouncing FBI for searching Donald J. Trump's Florida home for missing classified documents, right? And then it goes on, and he goes through his whole spiel and whatnot. I'm just saying, people are grumbling about it. I don't think it'll happen like that, but people are grumbling about it. And then on top of that, the economy's bad. Freaking, young boys out here, they on some, get carjacked type of shit. So, you just gotta be vigilant. Everybody out here walking around thinking shit is sweet. Everybody out here walking around like shit can't happen. Yeah. It's like, I can imagine being somebody trying to tell some New Yorkers like, hey man, some terrorists might hijack a plane and slam it into the towers, on September 10th. Nobody would believe me. I could hop in a time machine right now and go back to 2001 and be like, hey man, it's about to happen tomorrow, and people would be like, that's only the movies, right? But it happened. Motherfuckers with 19 guys with box cutters talking about screaming Allahu Akbar. And it wasn't just, people forget that there were 4 planes. It wasn't just the 2 that hit the towers. There was the one that crashed in Pennsylvania because the passengers fought back, and then there was the one that slammed into the Pentagon. Okay? It slammed into the Pentagon. There's a direct attack, right? Could have slammed directly into the White House. Into the Pentagon. Are you not understanding this shit, right? So I'm just saying, people running around post 9/11 world and still acting like, oh, that can't happen. Oh, this can't pop off. Oh, that like what are you smoking? So I'm just saying. But anyway, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this, on the whole thing. So That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. And I'll put the links to the stuff that I find. That list is going to forever grow. I got to make a Word document, put everything in there. That list is just going to keep growing. Because like I even found some other tactical lights, just stuff that I know is solid. I know that it's moving. You know, has good reviews, all that stuff. And this is stuff so that it doesn't break the bank. You know, not all this, no, you must have, your firearm must have, you know, you must go out there and buy a $4,000 sighting system from Trijicon. And a lot of Trijicon stuff is made in China. It's one of the companies that's on the list of having stuff made in China. Anyway, that's all I got to say. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.